The MilkCarton Kids. It's a strange name for two guys who many people call Simon and Garfunkel 2.0. How do you came? Are you one of these missing people who are printed on the milk cartons?
No, it's nothing as romantic as that, unfortunately.
That'd be a pretty good story.
Yeah, I wish it were. No, we've with the phrase comes from a lyric in a song off of our album Prologue, and it refers to a lot of the things that go missing or seemingly vanish when we come of age. You know, a lot of the awkwardness and uncomfortableness of youth or adolescence that seems to fall by the wayside, thankfully. And I think it was, it's kind of a dark metaphor to use to describe a process like that, which is actually a welcomed process. And so there was something in it that we felt set the right tone, I guess, for somebody listening to our music.
Yeah, that leads to your music. When listening and not listening to the words, just to the music, it can lead you to a very, very strange way. And then listening to the words leads you to just write another one. They're dark. They're sometimes cynical in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem to like the U.S. that much. Let's say it that way.
Yes, we're very self-loathing that way, as with other parts of our outlook.
What do you say? You're the topical singers of the 21st century, or kind of the topical singers, part of it.
Oh, interesting. Well, that sounds like a little bit too grand of a designation for us to accept.
I'll accept it.
Okay, you accept it, then I'll reject out of modesty. But anyway, I don't think it's as it's not purely cynical and dark. There's definitely an element of questioning in a lot of the lyrics, but there's, I think, a through line and a consistent element of hope throughout the whole thing. We're still young. There's still time.
The Beatles wrote, and we grow old. What will become when you get older? Will you get cynical? Because in Germany, in the paper I wrote, they look from far away, they look like John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
I think he looks like Paul.
And you like John?
Well, no, I don't really think I look like John. I just think he looks like Paul.
Shall we change the glasses? Maybe it's better
If I had your glasses, I probably would look more like John.
No, but beside of that, I mean, you strip down the music to a very pure constant, like the old folk singers did. You have two guitars, two voices, that's it. No electronics, no overvoicing, just the music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to be very, how to say that? Or what drove you to that point just to do it like that?
Well, there's a few things.
First, it was a kind of a happy accident, wasn't it? I mean, we just sat together for the first time and played, and played our songs back and forth. And I guess the simplest answer for me, before you take it any further, is it just sounded complete right from the first time we played together with the two guitars that we had in our hands and our two voices. It didn't ever really ask for anything more.
Right, that's the big difference. Oftentimes, I feel like as a songwriter or musician, you can get swept away with a musical vision or an idea, and that's a part of the job and that's a part of the work. For us, it didn't have to be that, because it already sounded so different and so new. Just what happens in the air between us, and so I think you're right. It was very happy and accidental that way, but I also think both Joey and I come from a strong tradition of and from a desire to write songs, and I think lyrically first, songs that whose importance is derived from the words before anything else. I think we benefit greatly from the sound that comes out of us. But apart from that, it seems like the job is very simple: is write pretty music and write words with meaning. It's not too. It's not. It sounds so simple, but I think when you were asking a question or talking about it, sort of references this idea that in the last 25 years of music, people seem to have forgotten that if you write a song, it should be about something. It should be about something maybe that weighs upon you, or something that's a little more difficult to think of than just whatever happy thought you have in your head. And so to me, it's very plain what the job is for Joey and I, is just write a song that actually means something. That's it. And I think we've spent a lot of time doing that in a way that also maybe carries the merits of a better type of writing, or a particular type of poetry, or something like that. But they come from a real honest place in the start, I think.
So you start with the words first.
He does. I feel like I have the opposite job of watching after the music, as it were. He seems to watch after the words.
Well, I think the point was not necessarily what comes first in the process of writing a song, but what comes first in terms of priorities. What is really the core or the most important thing about a song. If you're getting into songwriting process, that seems to happen a bunch of different ways. Sometimes a melody or a progression, or can inspire a lyrical thought, or a particular theme that wants to be explored. But I think which is different than saying that that anything but the lyric is the first priority.
I just have a very strange idea. Could it happen that in the middle of a concert you stopped the song and said, "I just got an idea for another one. Just let me scribble it down"?
Oh boy.
It has not happened.
It hasn't happened. I would, if it did, I would welcome it. That'd be great.
Would you stop? You would stop right in the middle of a song?
Sure.
All right.
But what you said about the process of music, would you say that you're kind of roots musician in the true sense of roots?
I don't know. I don't think that...
So I don't mean the Bristol sessions, and I don't mean the upcoming of modern folk, but just the roots of what music is.
I would hope so. At the same time, I don't know if we'll take ourselves that seriously. I think we've assembled a body of work to this point that aspires to take itself seriously and to consider itself in a serious manner and important. At the same time, I feel like I'd be foolish to think that that one, I know what would come next or what's in our future, and two, that I would either enjoy it or not enjoy it. I think you and I have a lot of work in front of us, and whatever shows up, I imagine we'll be ready to go into battle. But how that relates to the way that we see or approach music, I feel like to consider ourselves anything, especially of that sort, would perhaps mean that we would find ourselves closed-minded to perhaps what comes next.
Right, and the thing that also is confusing to me about any term like roots music or anything like that is that we don't come from the place, geographically, where a lot of what people think of as roots music comes from. Both of us were raised in Los Angeles in the 1980s and 90s, and so it's hard to it's not hard to be enamored with that tradition, but I suppose it's hard to claim any real ownership over it. I think if there's any resemblance between what we're doing and that tradition, which we are, infatuated with, as everyone is kind of, it's just that we're trying to write songs that are honest to our place and time, which happens to be, California in the present day in the United States.
So you were raised on the late disco sounds and early electro sounds.
Well, luckily my parents skipped over early and late disco, and I think when they ended with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and
Oh, that's roots as well.
yeah, but they didn't. My dad always says he stopped listening to music once he had kids, and he doesn't mean listening to music. He means listening to whatever new music was coming out. And I was born in 1982, so that was a pretty good time to stop listening to whatever new music was coming out and just exist with the current catalog on his shelf. So that's what I was raised on.
Are you listening to new music?
We listen to our contemporaries, our colleagues, sure.
Like?
Well, who do you like? I didn't know. It's fair.
Well, there's a lot of them.
No, you don't have to.
We should go through everybody that we've ever opened for that opened for us.
The Lumineers.
Right. Our favorites.
I guess I can't say we listen to the Lumineers on purpose. Anyway, it's hard to miss them.
You just had to.
Well, it comes on the radio.
Well, they're very famous now.
If you're in a department store, for example, it comes on.
Oh, that's good. In Germany, you won't hear them in the department store.
Oh, good.
Well, we got.
You're not safe anywhere else.
My big thrill of this year was at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, just a couple weeks ago. We got to play a show with Iron and Wine, and I was a dedicated fanatic of Iron and Wine's albums before I was even a musician, and so I think what he's done over the last 10 years is worthy of as much attention as anything out there.
I don't know if you can really call yourself a musician.
Right, I'm still not a musician.
Not a musician.
Even before I called myself a musician, I was listening to Iron and Wine.
One question I have to ask is, did the Matt Damon movie help, or didn't it?
It seems to have helped.
Oh, I was going to say it doesn't seem to have done much of anything. Other than that, it helped us write our album. It helped creatively. I don't know if very many people in the United States, anyway, saw the film and then found our music through it in a way that, sometimes happens.
But I find, there's lots of these things that happen, and I find that you can never really point to any single one of them and say, this helped a lot. And if you can, it's probably a bad thing, because it means that's probably what you'll be famous for, and you'll have trouble the rest of your life trying to live up to it, or just get frustrated that millions of people know you for one thing and they don't see the other sides of it. But I would guess that in a way that we wouldn't really be able to tell that that film helped a great deal. Right.
But we're not Elliott Smith now.
Before that movie, you seem to be, or you have been, musicians. Now you seem to be musicians who want to earn money, because the first two albums are for free, is still for free on your website, and now it's the first CD for sale. Why did you change your mind, or didn't you really change your mind?
We'll probably make more money off of those albums that we give away for free than we do off the ones that we sell.
How's
just
that?
By the way. Well, the ones that we give away for free are also for sale, and a lot of people buy them. I don't quite know why, because they could get them for free. But for a lot of, for either they want to support, or they haven't figured out that it's free, or they want an actual physical copy of the vinyl or the CD, But to answer your question straightly, I think the reason why we ended up basically putting this new album out with a record label instead of on our own was that there was just too much work to be done. We postponed the recording of this record because we were working on everything other than rehearsing it and writing it. And it came to a point where we just didn't have time to be musicians anymore. Really.
Well, it's more than that also. We found the right group of people. We're on a wonderful record label, one of the last real wonderful independent record labels, called Anti, and they're the same people that are the label Epitaph, and they've been around for 30 years now, doing very important work, putting out very important albums, and they're all really wonderful people that, when we all met, seemed to have a passion for us and seemed capable of doing things in a way that we wouldn't be able to do on our own anymore. And part of that was, we have to sell the album, or else we wouldn't be able to get them to work with us, which is in my mind a pretty good price. These are people that I think will be around for a long time with Joe and I, and will help shape what we do for the foreseeable future anyway.
Is there a difference for you playing in Europe and not playing in the US?
We don't know yet. The first show is tonight.
Oh, is it? I thought you were now. Oh, it's Amsterdam is later.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Amsterdam tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a long drive.
Early morning.
So we don't know yet.
Good. I ask you later.
Yeah.
Did anybody ask you still who's the milk and who's the carton?
Nobody's ever asked.
So who is who?
Oh boy, I would be the carton.
Oh.
I think so.
No, I just asked, is there a boss? Says, between the two of us, is there a boss?
No.
We give ourselves, we give each other mutual veto power over everything. So we both become each other's bosses.
But I am the president. I mean, that's just my title. I don't know what power it gives me, but I'm the president.
If the two of you had a free wish, could be anything, what would that be?
I don't know. What's your wish? Well, you get 3.
A free wish or 3 wishes?
One free wish.
One free
just
wish.
one free
3
wish.
is too easy.
Right. I would like Justin Bieber's monkey. I would like to have his monkey and him not have his monkey. Did you hear about this? Justin Bieber got a monkey, which apparently brings him great pleasure. I would just like to
You don't want
take
him to have
the
that
monkey away.
Is it because you want the monkey, or you don't
I've
want
always
him
liked-
to have the joy of having the monkey?
Well, both. I've always thought that I'd be happy with a pet monkey.
Oh. All right. Well, then I would take that girl's sloth that got the
What?
sloth.
I don't know who that is.
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell.
Yeah, the actress. Remember, she got the sloth for her birthday and she cried. You didn't see that
No.
video?
I don't know what that
You
is.
gotta watch that.
That's a thing?
Yeah. I would take her sloth.
Do you know what the Kristen Bell sloth is?
No,
I don't know either.
Do you know who that actress is?
I have no idea.
I will Google it.
You
Yeah,
should do it.
okay.
It's a video. I think it was mildly viral for a minute, and because she has a thing for sloths, and her boyfriend got her to somebody to bring a sloth to the house for her birthday, and then when she got it, it hugs her, and she loses her mind. I mean, she cannot believe that she
sounds
has a
annoying.
sloth. That's why I would take the sloth from her.
Well, I've moved on from the sloth. I'm just fixated upon you watching internet video. Like that's
You know
like-
about Justin Bieber's monkey.
I don't know.
Casting judgment.
It's not so much that it's.
I just leave the room and leave you alone. I think this is much more
We
interesting
need-
than any question I can ask.
We just
Is
need
that the way-
We need a minute between each other, between ourselves.
Is
here.
that the way how the songs erupt from you?
It is. But from the whatever. See, if you let us go another couple minutes, it would turn into actual like tension-filled,
Right, we don't like each other
borderline
very much.
borderline fight.
No
And-
problem. We
Yeah.
have cameras here. We
Yeah.
can.
No, and it's true. It's true. There is that like he was saying. I mean, there's something physically in the air between us when we sing or play, but also just in that tension between us that kind of waxes and wanes. I think everything we've ever done that's productive or useful in any way has come out of that tension.
I don't think you'll find us writing a song about Kristen Bell's sloth, though. I don't think this one was very productive.
Well, The Sloth and the Monkey would be a nice song, wouldn't it?
That's right.
Well, now you're talking. The sloth and the monkey.
I'm going to write that song with you.
I think my English is not that good.
That would benefit
Yeah,
the
that would
song.
serve our purposes.
Okay, thanks a lot for the interview.
Well,
Welcome,
thank you.
thank
I
you.
enjoyed it.
So did we.